What's up, everybody? P.S. This is awesome. Episode fucking, what is it? 425.
425.
I am your host, Jake Peters, alongside Fred Oakman. We are a PlayStation podcast. We talk about, I don't know, fucking PlayStation or whatever. It's totally fine. Some people like it. Some people don't. But if you love it, which are a few people that love it, you can go to patreon.com/PS. This is awesome. You can join the one and only $1 club where you pay just $1. And for that dollar, you get a free die-cut vinyl sticker, which I guess technically it's not free. You're kind of paying $1 for it. But it's a pretty dope-ass sticker. Well worth the dollar. We don't charge you to ship it to you, which is pretty rad. And you can stick it, like, you know, on your high school principal's bumper of their car. Or like, you know, one of those bank tubes that they like suck up into the fucking teller or whatever through the air tube. You can stick it on your skateboard. Remember, people used to do that. Your band case, if you've got like a bass or something like I do. But either way, what am I doing here? I don't know. Dude, this is already getting off to a fucking rocky start, man. It's been a long week for me. As Fred knows, and I think I mentioned it last week, we got a puppy, and she is a fucking handful. I tell you what, disrupting sleep. She actually sleeps pretty well, but it's like one of these things where it's like it's tough. The mornings are tough because it's like someone's got to be with her all the time, and the whole schedule's fucked up. And I usually work out in the morning, and now I can't, and it's kind of crazy. So I've been running on fumes a little bit. Not so much as my wife, Sarah. She's been running way more ragged than me. But anyway, this is a PlayStation podcast. How you doing, Fred?
I'm good. I actually didn't check to see if we had any listener feedback, so I'm doing that right now. I think I've talked to you before. Where I'm at now, we put in a patio. And that's always like, you know, I've never installed a patio before, and you just slowly learn how to do these things. YouTube is obviously the greatest educator because if you would have asked me prior to the internet if I could go install a patio and know everything I need to buy and just do it, I mean, it would have been a quick no. Like, yeah, you kidding me? No way. But I feel like nowadays, if you are like a relatively somewhat handy person, you can just about do anything, and it's weird. It's just really kind of messed up, man. So, and I say that just to say that I'm now the patio that was built it comes off of this deck, right? So you have a deck, and then there's a patio, and now I've got to build stairs and cut out stringers and like do all this mathing, and the internet just makes all this shit so much easier. It's incredible. So for anybody who doesn't know, there's an easy way to do the rise and runs on stairs with a carpenter square, but they make these little nodules. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see these or not. You can kind of see this. So this is a piece, and it's got this bolt that screws in and out. There you go. And all it does is you find your 7-inch on a carpenter square, and you tighten this up right on the 7-inch mark, and you do the same on whatever the 10-inch mark, and then now both ends of your square have little notches on them, and it makes the angle. You press it up against the edge of like a 2x6, whatever, and you can just draw the stringers, how many steps you need. But what's cool about it is I 3D printed these things, and you can buy them, metal ones, but it's like $13 for two, and I just printed them in an hour, and now I have two working T-square, whatever you call them.
Yeah,
pages.
I love stuff like that. Obviously, having the 3D printer is pretty cool. I I put all new doors in my last house. Like I did the exterior doors too, but
I remember you doing
all
that,
the
yeah.
interior doors. And for those of you who have never hung a door, it's a fucking nightmare if you're shimming it the old-fashioned way. It's really hard to get it shimmed right so that it's not crooked. The door is not flinging open on its own. It doesn't stick when it closes. It latches right. It's all a pain in the ass. Even if you buy a pre-hung door, it's not guaranteed. So there's this, what the fuck are they called? They're called like easy hangers or some weird shit like that. But there are these little metal brackets that you buy that you screw into the edge, like 3 places on either side of a pre-hung door frame, and they have these notches in them. And what you do is you get a level, and you do on the one side, the hinge side, you do a straight line down the wall where like the trim would cover it, obviously, not like like right by the door opening, not like way out, but so right by the door opening, you do a straight line that's level with like a 6-foot level or something. And then these brackets, when you push the door into the opening, these brackets have these notches in them. And all you do is when you put them in there, you make sure that the same notch on all 3 brackets is touching the line. And then you screw it into place. And then when you do that, you know that the hinge side is completely level. And then the other side, you basically do it where you kind of do the same thing, but you're really kind of making sure that it's level vertically so that the door isn't like kind of at an, like, like if you make a square out of wood, you can kind of turn it into like a angular trapezoid kind of if you bend it a little bit. So you don't want that because you want the door to close. So you kind of do it the other way on the other side. And then all you have to do is stick just enough shims in there to just give it support on either side. It's fucking crazy. I spent 4 hours trying to hang one door. And then I went out and bought these things, and they weren't cheap. It was like $20 for a pack of them. But I hung the next door, and I'm not even fucking around with you, like 15 minutes. So it's like there's so many cool little like
shortcuts and tricks
and tools and things they have now that make jobs easier for homeowners. There are still jobs that are like really difficult for your everyday person, like doing drywall, for example. Like I know you did it. I've done it. Not so much the hanging of the drywall, but the finishing of it is just a pain in the ass. It's hard to do.
So, getting it nice and flush. Well, the thing is with this project, these stairs, like, dude, I've never built stairs. I've never done it, you know. Yeah. But you get online and they have a stair calculator. You just measure the total rise and how I guess how deep you want your stairs to be. And then it does all the math. And it says, this is what your run's going to be. This is what your stair's going to be. This is what the total length of your stringer's going to be. And then I found a YouTube channel where they're like, do this with the carpenter square. And the first number is your rise on the tongue. And the other one's a blah, blah, blah. And you carve it out. And then you reverse the thing. And you do the thing. And then you cut it. And there you go. You have your stringers. And it's like, wow, okay. Because I was laying like, I was trying to figure out, because it's only going to be 3 stairs I'm building, but they're like 82 inches wide, so they're pretty wide. So you got to have 4 or 5 stringers to keep it nice and solid. So the problem is now I'm looking at it and like I've got to let it come down on something, and it shouldn't just sit on the grass. So I bought these. I was thinking like, do I just build a frame and pour some concrete, or do I just get those 2 whatever those however thick they are, and how thick they are, the concrete step pads, you know,
or that are like a paver, or
24 by 24, like 2 foot by 2 foot by, I don't know how they're pretty fucking thick, and just put a few of those down. And as long as you lay like a paver base for them, the gravel and shit, you're fine. They said for stairs, I'm only like three steps or whatever, you're good. You'll be within code. It's fine. So I was digging that shit up yesterday and in the sun, and I'm just like kind of excited to try to get these stairs started.
Dude, those stringers are harder. Like if you have to do it the old-fashioned way, it's harder than you think. Like you would think that it's just like, oh, you just fucking cut some notches in a 2x10. But I had to do it one time because funny story. Sarah probably was maybe a little embarrassed by this, but she one time like literally a quarter mile from our house, wrecked her car. And like it was snowing really bad, and she just was coming around this corner, and she wasn't going very fast, but it was like really snowing hard. And she kind of lost control, and there was a house by my house that had there was a ditch, and then across on like basically the road, a ditch, and then there was a hillside, and basically this person's house was on the hillside, and so from the ditch there was like a little walkway, like a little bridge across the ditch, and then a staircase that went up the side of the hill to the guy's house. And when she lost control of the vehicle, she went in the ditch and literally just fucking took out this dude's staircase and his fucking everything. So, so I talked to the guy and I was like, yo, if you're cool with it, like I'll just rebuild your stairs for you. Like if you're cool with staying home today, because that was his only way to get out of his house. I was like,
jeez.
And I was like, instead of waiting for somebody to figure all this out.
You had to do it all that same day?
Dude, yeah. So instead of like waiting for somebody to figure all this out and try and get this guy, you know, like to get his stairs fixed, I was like, look, if you're okay with it, I'll go get all the stuff. I'll stay home from work. I'll go get all the stuff. I'll rebuild your stairs right now. Mind you, it's like 20 degrees in a fucking blizzard outside. And
dude, you're crazy.
So I went to Home Depot. I bought 2x10s to make the stringers, and I bought like extra, you know, like treated lumber to make the pat or the treads and everything. Yeah. And the first stringer that I made, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna measure it and fucking do it. The first one I did was just not even close. Yeah. It like wasn't even close. Yeah. And so so I ended up, I don't remember what I did. I might have taken one of the broken ones and actually traced it.
Yeah. That's one way to do it.
Because what's fun, so every so often going up the hill, there was like 2x or 4x4s pounded into the ground that the stringers were attached to. And Sarah just so happened to hit it so that it sheared the steps off right at the nearest 4x4s. And so I didn't have to put any posts in the ground, thankfully. I just went inside of the 4x4s instead of outside of the 4x4s. Yeah. And just extended it down the rest of the way to the road. And I just got some big lag bolts and shit to hold it all together. And, you know, I'm not a carpenter by any means, but I know my way around a saw. And so it was just kind of funny, like, whenever you started talking about, as soon as you started talking about cutting those stair stringers, I was like, it took me back to this one time I literally was on the fucking clock with a gun to my head to make this staircase for someone. That wasn't even me. And last time I drove by there, those fucking stairs were still there. And this was awesome. Dude, this was like 10, 12 years ago.
You want to help me with some stairs? Yeah. I'm going to be putting some together here. I've done a lot of YouTube research. One of the other tools that I had once, that I still have, it's a pocket hole jig from Craig. Dude, those Craig awesome. Jigs are awesome. Dude, those pocket hole ones are so nice.
I've wanted one forever, and I haven't had a specific reason to buy one, and they're like $85 or $100. That's the only reason why I haven't. It depends on
the ones you get, because that's like the ultimate one. I think the one I have is much cheaper. It's I got it for like $30.
Oh, really? That's definitely worth the buy. Then
they have a cheaper one that's not as maybe it's not as manipulated or malleable or whatever you want to say, but it works great. I was building this patio chair shit out for my old house for the patio. I was building this shit, and it recommended using this pocket hole Craig jig, and I was like, dude, this thing's fucking dope.
Yeah, they're sick.
It's really cool. Yeah, there's a little bit of math involved, but the instructions online if you get how to use it. But anyways, enough about that, dude.
Dude, one more cool fucking tool, and then I swear to God we'll move on. I was doing new treads for the stairs at my house, and so for anybody who doesn't know, I live in a 130 plus year old farmhouse. And I think it's 133 years old or 135 years old, something like that. It's fucking crooked as shit. And it's a great old house, but there's not a square corner in the entire place. And that goes for the stair treads as well. Every single one had to be cut unique for the staircase. And so the only way to get it so that, like, because the edge, like the ends, like the front to back and the sides, they all were different angles. So they make this stair tread thing that you can buy that's like almost like 4 slide rules kind of bolted together that you can make any kind of angular square that you want, and you can shrink it and grow it and all this stuff. And you can basically just put it on the old stair tread, lock 4 corners down, and you pick it off, and you just go over to your piece of wood and you fucking trace it, and it makes a perfect shape for what you need. It is so cool.
Oh, wow.
So anyway, yeah. So dude, I 100% agree with you. Unless I highly recommend people don't do their own roofs and shit like that. But like, dude, with all the resources that are on the internet now, you can fucking do anything yourself. You can do plumbing, you can do drywall, you can do freaking electrical, although I would highly recommend you be incredibly careful with electrical. If you're not comfortable, don't do it. Plenty of people have burned down their houses.
A lot of it's the knowledge, dude, because like it's not even that a lot of those manual labor jobs like brickwork or patio work or woodwork or, you know, shit like that. A lot of that cement work, like you're laying, like pouring quickcrete and making forms and stuff. A lot of that isn't really hard to do if you just have the knowledge. So the thing is like, well, I had to cut some bricks for that patio, and I was like, I don't even know how to fucking cut a brick. Like, how do you cut a brick? It's like, oh, grab your if you're not like using a wet saw, just grab your whatever the thing is called. The come on, help me out with the thing. What was that fucking thing that you fucking grind shit with? The angle grinder. Grab your angle grinder. Get this kind of attachment, and you can just cut freehand halfway through a brick and then just boop,
break it off,
and it just breaks off perfectly. I was like, oh, that's easy. And sure as shit, like the blade was like $9. I already had an angle grinder, and I'm cutting brick perfectly for a patio. And I was like, I never would have thought I could have done this. It's just like knowing the tools and knowing what you need to do the thing, like buying the right kind of sand, the polymeric sand, buying the, you know, knowing how to properly base a patio before you start laying the bricks, and how to screed it, and like where you get your screed bars from, and like what you should be getting. And like, it's so easy once someone just says this is how you do it. The rest is just doing it. Like, there's not really a whole lot to it.
I will say that every time I do a project, I end up buying some tool that is not cheap. And I don't necessarily go out and buy like the top of the line whatever. Like I might even buy some Amazon special, but there's almost always a tool that you can get that makes the job easier. Whether it's just a blade for your saw, or an attachment for your grinder, or something like that.
Special fasteners or something.
Right. So, but yeah, dude, I was at Home Depot.
These are so cool. I'm so stoked on these.
That is really neat.
3D printing a tool that I'm actually going to use is so neat.
I was at Home Depot a couple days ago, and I promise we'll move on. And there was this lady who was talking to a Home Depot guy. They were looking at, she's like, I need a Sawzall blade to do something. I don't remember what it was. And I was looking at Dremel stuff, and it's like really close to that. And I just overheard them, and she's like, I'm not paying $20 for a saw blade. I'm like, lady, I'm like, $20 is worth its weight in fucking, I mean, that blade is worth its weight in gold if it's the right blade for what you need. And it's like people who complain about the price of like those shark bite fittings. It's like, bro, I'll pay $20 per fitting all day long if it means I can literally just stick 2 pipes together and they don't leak ever. So it's just funny to me sorry
about that. Good.
Yeah, just how funny. You know, yes, I guess as an addendum, like you can basically do whatever you want as long as you're willing to get the resources you need to do it, as well as learn how to do it. Because it will be harder. Like if you don't have the right tools, it will be hard. Like part of the reason why it's so easy for the professionals is they have all the good shit. Like if when I'm doing trim, it's way easier for me to cut trim when I can cut it right because I have a saw that cuts square and everything, than trying to use some $50 saw and it's all crooked and shit. And I'm like, why doesn't everything line up? That's where it gets kind of weird. So
yeah. Yeah, I hear
But
that.
anyway, I don't know why we're still talking about this. But it is exciting, dude. I could talk about working on houses all day. I've just done every single time I've got a project at home, I tell everyone I'll try something once. I'll try anything once. Short of, like I said earlier, like I'm not going to fucking do a roof. I'm not going to fucking put my own windows in if I can avoid it. I'm not going to do siding. Like I'm going to let the pros do that. But I'll try plumbing. I'll try drywall. I'll try fucking putting stairs in. I'll try doing all this other shit. And it's fun. I mean, I personally think it's fun learning how to do it. I might, maybe by the end of it, I'm like motherfucking myself wishing I had paid somebody else to do it. But like, it's cool. Like you would say, like I did this. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So that's the fucking Bob Vila corner for this episode of the podcast. Did you see if we had any listener feedback for this week?
I didn't see any. I looked.
Okay. So it sounds like we don't have any listener feedback. We're going to talk a little bit about, we're going to get into the games we're playing and talk a little bit. I put some news points up and stuff like that, but it sounds like Fred and I are both playing 007 First Light. And I think that probably we are going to want to talk about this more than almost anything on the show, because it just came out on, I think it was last Wednesday, but you could get it early if you wanted to on Tuesday. And I've been playing it, and I know you've been playing it. I'm about maybe 4 hours into it, 3 or 4 hours into it. I haven't, with just like I mentioned before with the puppy, it's kind of difficult for me to play games, so I've put as much time as I can into it. But I'm sure, Fred, you've done a lot more, hopefully maybe played a lot more than I have. And how you thinking about it so far?
Dude, this game's awesome. It's good. It's real good. I hate to, I don't know. I hate to just be like, dude, this thing is so awesome. But, dude, I got to gush about this. I was so excited to talk to you when we were jamming, just to see where you were at, and we didn't get to talk for too long about it, but holy hell, man. It makes me want to go watch all of the movies now. And it sounds kind of weird, but it's true. I'm very curious to, I don't know, do more James Bond stuff, like in my world. Like, I think but I will also say that my lack of knowledge of the James Bond franchise probably makes the game better to me than it is for like maybe some sort of aficionado, because this is not a canon James Bond. This is a James Bond that, from what I understand, is retelling of his origin story and kind of his beginning. But I will say that the polish in the first couple hours of this game are just almost. We just put out an episode about, is Naughty Dog still the best? And like, dude, this is totally hitting a lot of my Uncharted funny bone in such a great way. Like, I needed this lightheartedness. I needed like the adventure. I wanted the character development. Some of the things, without getting into too much detail that I really like about it, is you can tell some of the bigger maps are the Hitman is IOI doing this. But I also, or IO Entertainment, or whatever they call themselves, the studio. But I want to say, like, those, and there's a lot of variety. So like, they'll give you, for example, what I really like about it, and it seems like it goes just to about the point where I'm like, okay, can I be done with this section and just get into something a little more linear? Can I get more story? Like some of the open world stuff. For instance, you'll find yourself in like the shipyard, which is very reminiscent of Uncharted. Unbelievable. You get in a Jeep at some point. It's like there's some stuff that's very Uncharted. You almost have your Sully and Nathan Drake character really in this game. And there's a lot of climbing like Uncharted. The gunplay, I don't know how I feel about it, but what I was getting at was like, it's Hitman-esque in the fact that like you have to gain access to different areas on these maps. and you eavesdrop and you do different things. You're walking around, you're milling around, you're trying not to blow your cover, and you're picking up like, oh, Danny has, or you'll hear someone talking on the phone like, oh, blah, blah, blah is supposed to be here by now. I'm supposed to have an interview with him. I left his press pass at the front gate, for when he gets here so we can get him upstairs. And like your goal is to get past security and get upstairs so then you can go find a press pass. And then, somehow hack your way into a door to get a press pass, to get the thing, to do the thing, to find your way upstairs. But there's also like 3 or 4 other ways you could have gotten upstairs. So the replayability, I think, at some of these open levels maps, these open sandboxes, is pretty interesting. I didn't like it at first, but I do like the hand-to-hand combat. I think there's a lot going on here. They made it a little less button mashy, but it's still there. It's almost like a Spider-Man where you can parry, you see like a flash, and it's like, okay, someone's swinging at me, and it slows down briefly, and you can kind of like try to hit the button to parry and counter. It does get a little weird, I think, whenever the guys start coming in on you at once. Overall, though, voice acting, so good. Music, so good. Even how they kind of introduce the gameplay to the game in the training camp, Jake, so smart and cool. So movie-esque. I'm into this game. I do find it difficult when you get into gunfights with a large number of people. Like, I've died many times in this game. They also have a really cool thing where you can like bluff your way out if you're trying to be stealthy and someone sees you. Depending on the situation where you're at, someone like, hey, you, and then you'll have an option to bluff or fake surrender, which is just like, okay, yeah, you got me. They get close, and then you can do a maneuver and take them out. But the bluff is always kind of fun. It's like, oh yeah, I'm just checking for carbon dioxide, and you're walking around or whatever, and it's really clever. And then like the bad guys have like a timer where like you fooled them for so long. Very good, and the story's interesting. I just hit a story beat recently that was kind of like, whoa, kind of cool. But I think it's great, man. I don't have a single issue with this game. It is scratching every itch that I didn't know I had or that I suspected that I had that I wasn't getting from Naughty Dog, with like this more linear, more story-driven action-adventure game. Like it's really, really good. This game's awesome. Jake, what about you?
Yeah, man, I am really into it, and I have seen. If I had to just like throw a dart to tell you how many of the James Bond movies I've seen, maybe somewhere in the neighborhood of like 10 or 12 of them I've seen. So I'm not like a James Bond like enthusiast, to be honest with you, but I've always liked the movies. I've liked the franchise. I like the campiness of it. I like how it doesn't take itself seriously. I mean, it does and it doesn't take itself seriously. It's not like fucking Austin Powers, which is the parody, but it's like a lot of silly shit happens, and Bond and his the way he always gets the ladies and everything, and the gadgets and all that stuff, and Q and M and Moneypenny, and it's all very cool. I mean, obviously, when I was a kid, growing up with Pierce Brosnan as Bond, I saw all of those movies pretty much. And then I actually went backwards and became a big fan of Roger Moore as Bond. He, let's see. Oh my God, why am I blanking on this? Like my fucking favorite Bond movie. Roger Moore Bond movies. The Spy Who Loved Me is probably one of my favorite Bond movies. It's so good. But he also did like Live and Let Die. Moonraker is like one of the fucking campiest, funniest fucking Bond movies on the planet. A View to a Kill has Christopher Walken as the bad guy. It's and like we've all played, or a lot of us have played GoldenEye as kids, right? Like, did you play GoldenEye, in your...
Dude, I was one of the few who didn't.
Oh, really? Okay, so one of the things about GoldenEye that was interesting from the perspective of a younger generation that might have been playing this game is that a lot of the characters that you could play as in the multiplayer were characters from these classic Bond movies that were not characters from GoldenEye. So you think about guys like like Baron Samedi and oh my god, my brain is malfunctioning today. GoldenEye.
I don't even
game,
know. I don't even know how to help you.
Multiplayer characters. Okay, characters. Odd Job, the fucking little guy that throws his hat in Austin Powers. He's the guy that throws his shoe. Okay. And then who's the fucking who is the special Moonraker, Odd Job, Baron Samedi? Jaws. Jaws is the guy from Moonraker. He's in a few of the movies. He's kind of like he almost becomes like a recurring character. Anyway, I don't know. I'm getting fucking sidetracked from the fucking game. But I guess what I'm trying to get at is that I have a sort of like a relationship with James Bond where it's like when it's on and I'm watching it, I'm totally into it, right? Where I love it and I love a lot about it. But I don't sit there and I don't think about James Bond all the time. I'm not being like, oh, I'm this fucking Bond guy or anything like that. But I've seen enough Bond movies where I kind of get the gist, right? I get the flavor, I get the vibe, I get all of that stuff, even across a few different Bonds, from Sean Connery to Roger Moore to what's his face, Pierce Brosnan to Daniel Craig.
Nigel.
And so when I played this game, and you play the opening scene, and I don't want to spoil this for anyone because it's a pretty special experience. And to be fair, I'm only a few hours in, but after you get through the first like intro sequence, before like you get into MI6 and all that stuff, and there's like this isn't really a huge spoiler, but there's like the explosion. And then it does the fucking intro sequence, and it is straight out of a fucking Bond movie, dude. The whole intro sequence, like the weird like surreal nature of stuff, it, with the smoke and like the silhouetted ladies dancing and the fucking dude, the music is so good. And who is it? Lana Del Rey or somebody does the music for this. Like, it is awesome. The only thing that I will say about the intro sequence, and I get why they did it, and I respect them for this, but they could have just it could have just been a live action sequence. But instead, all of like even though it's like completely like silhouetted out and you really can't tell much definition, they use like 3D models of Bond running around and stuff. And it's like, you could have just, to make this look even cooler, you could have just had a fucking video of a dude running and like made it black. But I get why they wanted to make it all an engine and everything, and I respect that. But dude, the whole time that intro sequence was playing, I had like the chills because I'm like a casual Bond fan, but when I'm into it, I'm into it. And one of the things that is so iconic about Bond movies is the intros and the song that goes with the intro to a given movie. Like the most recently, it actually might not be the most recent one, but the most recent one that I can think of was Billie Eilish did that song. I think it was Skyfall. No, Billie Eilish Bond movie. Sorry, I'm fucking all over the. No Time to Die. And it was awesome. They always get like these great songs. Fucking A View to a Kill was Paul McCartney. They had who is Die Another Day? I think it was like Mariah Carey or something. It's just It's great. I love it. I love everything about like the aesthetic of those movies. And I know like some of it is dated in terms of like the womanizing and all that stuff. And I get it. And I totally understand that. And yes, you should definitely take the way Bond acts in 1967 with a grain of salt. But this movie, I'm really going off here, but like this game really does capture that vibe. It was very weird the way that they introduced Bond's character, because I know that like canon wise it's always the same guy, James Bond. I believe canon wise James Bond is his real name and everything like that. But there's been this kind of like almost sort of thought in fandom where there have been so many James Bonds where it's almost like Doctor Who, where it's like James Bond is like a title almost. And like different people can be James Bond 007, if that makes sense. So when you find out that it's like James, like in the intro to this game, James Bond is a guy, and before MI6 and all this stuff, it's an origin story and everything. It's a little bit, for me personally, thinking about it in that respect, it was a little bit jarring at first, but like now that I'm like into it, I love the progression. I love the way that the James Bond in the game. I love all of the characters that they've surrounded him with. I'm not far enough to really know what's going on, excuse me. It has a little bit of a GoldenEye vibe to it with like the, not to really spoil anything, but like the 009 thing and all of this stuff. And so I think people will feel they're on familiar ground here with like the Bond game in terms of like if they're used to a Bond story. But it is just a completely different environment. The way that it's wrapped is so good. That whole sequence in the hotel which is like the first real mission when you're in the hotel with the chess tournament is fucking awesome. It's so like out of a Bond movie. It's stupid. And even just everything about it. And it's kind of cool to get the behind the scenes MI6 stuff as well. But I don't want to get too deep into this story. I wanted to comment a little bit on what you were saying about the gameplay and how hard it was. And here is, now granted, like I said, I'm on the first quarter of like the second major mission. I'm in like the African fucking pirate area. Mm-hmm. Not to like try not to spoil it, but like, but I'm just doing the thing where you're walking around doing spy shit. I'm not doing any gunfights, but you do a gunfight at the end of the first mission. And one of the things that I will say is that part of the reason why the gunfight is so hard is because they fucking fuck with the controls. Why does the game have to fuck with the controls? This is one of these things where we figured out how first and third person shooting controls work. We figured it out. All of the games should have the same fucking control scheme. I do not understand it. And
the reload button is circle in this game.
And well, it's even more complicated than that. You have to be aiming and then hit circle to reload the weapon. It doesn't just, if you're just running around, you can't just hit circle and reload. Same thing with like, so my two biggest gripes about the gunfighting. The melee combat is pretty solid. There's not really a whole lot to say about it. It's like Arkham style kind of combat where
it's good.
It's, it's a little more tactical. You can parry, you can dodge. There are like flashing indicators on the enemy to tell you which thing you might need to do. You can grapple with an enemy and throw him into another enemy, or you could grab objects and hurl them at the bad guys to like throw them off guard.
Pretty intuitive.
It flows really well. It's very good. But the thing that kind of bothered me about the gunfighting is that like the act of shooting someone feels pretty good. What doesn't feel good is like, I'm out of ammo. Now what the fuck do I do? And like that is the problem, because you either have to reload, but in the one gunfight I was in, to be fair, I was only in one. All the guns I picked up There was no fucking ammo in them. I had no extra ammo.
Clip in them.
So it's like you basically have to shoot someone, and then when you're done, you can either throw the gun at an enemy or you can pick up another gun. And it becomes a little bit challenging. And I didn't
run away.
Or you could run away. And I didn't know this until like I died 2 or 3 times, where it's like, oh, no matter what guns you pick up, if you press down, it pulls your pistol back out. I didn't know that. So, like, if you run out of ammo, you're just running around with a fucking empty gun in your hand unless you switch back to your pistol or you swap it out for another weapon. And I think it will get better as the game goes on and I get more used to it. But they kind of drop you into your first gunfight. They don't really ease you into it. It's like your first one, you're fighting like 30 guys. It's not like... It's not 30 guys at once. It's like 3 waves of like 10 dudes. And they're all shooting at you from different angles. And the tutorial doesn't really give you any sort of like as awesome as the tutorial sequence is. And I don't even want to spoil the tutorial. It's so cool. But like I've never played a game that has done a tutorial in such a cinematic fashion as this game.
No, it's awesome.
It's so cool. But there is no sequence in there where... because it's all like a training montage type thing. There's no sequence where you're gunfighting with other people. They do give you like a minor tutorial where it's like, oh, you can throw a gun at someone. Or, oh, you can do this. But it's very quick. It's very quick. And it's on to the next thing. And you don't really get a chance to absorb this skill and how to use it. So then the first time you get into a gunfight after that, they literally just drop you into a pool full of enemies. And they're like, have fun. And then you get in there and you're like trying to feel it out and figure out all these controls and everything. And then you've got these gadgets you can use. And it can be, I guess what I'm getting at is it can be a little overwhelming. But I think that what would have alleviated that portion of the game being overwhelming is them just sticking to the status quo with the third-person shooting controls. Like, why do I have to hold the aim and hit the circle to reload the gun? That doesn't make any sense. Just let me reload the fucking gun. Why is it that like I'm running by holding down the R1 button, and then when you get into cover, it's not always clear like if you're in cover or you're not in cover, because it's not like a snap to cover. It's like you run up to it and now you're in cover. So like I'm like
a little different.
And then you'll go up to different barriers, and tell me if you had this issue, Fred. I would go up to certain barriers and I'm smashing the fucking R1 button and he will not go into cover. It's like certain things he doesn't deem worthy of cover. And I don't know if that's a me problem or a problem with the game. I'll tell you more when I've finished it, or maybe next week after I've played a lot more of it. But as of right now, in the one gunfight I was in, it was like when I'm running around and it's hectic, I was struggling to get into cover and I was struggling to get to handle the weapons and the ammo and all of that kind of stuff. I'm sure that will get better with time, but my complaint and why I struggled with, I think, stems from the fact that the controls are a little bit different. I don't know if you agree with that or not, but that's kind of how I felt about it. I still enjoyed the sequence. I still like that you could slow down and fucking headshot dudes and use your gadgets and blow smoke and do all this cool stuff. You
definitely max paint it. Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with the gun combat.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. The issue I run into is I'm used to playing the game like Uncharted.
Yes.
Where you just take cover.
And you just press circle and he fucking snaps to the nearest barrier and you're just in there. You don't have to worry about falling out.
And you pick people off from that spot. Well, the enemies in this game seem to be smarter and faster. And they're always way outnumbered. So you have to always move around. And you die pretty quick. You don't really have a health bar, I don't think. Maybe you do.
No, I don't think so. It's like an Uncharted style.
They borrowed a lot from Uncharted in this game, but I don't see that as a problem. I think they've done it with taste. I went on Metacritic, or an OpenCritic rather, it's got an 87 on OpenCritic right now.
I can jive with that so far.
I think that's pretty accurate. I mean, I would go probably in the 90s for it, honestly, based on the games I've been playing. Remember, I came from Yakuza Like a Dragon to this, so big jump in years. But I think the thing that it's getting nailed on is that while the game is great, it's not innovative enough.
I don't know,
And
man.
I'm just
I think
like-
it's pretty fucking cool. There's some
Yeah,
cool
it
shit that it does.
I agree. So I disagree with some of that criticism. I think that like the dialogue is good. The choice in those open box areas of how you want to get to the next place is interesting. The story is interesting. The fact that gunplay isn't the gameplay factor I think that this game revolves around. I think the game actually is more honestly of a stealth game.
Yeah. You're a spy. I mean, that's kind of
Yeah.
the idea.
So I've never quite seen. I don't know, man. It scratches a lot of itches. I mean, there are moments where it says license to kill, and that's when it is hitting the fan, and you got carte blanche to use your gun. You can't always just grab your gun and kill people.
Yeah.
There are areas where you're not allowed to use it, where the game prohibits you from using your gun, and you have to stealth or you have to do melee silent takedowns and then. Dude, the other thing we didn't talk about is MI6, dude, like the research and development place. How cool is that? Like when you're
pretty
walking
neat.
around.
Yeah.
Yeah, without spoiling it, it's awesome. It's just like, okay, you're part of the crew and you get to select different loadouts and stuff. It's really interesting. That is something you don't do in Uncharted, and that is something you don't do in The Last of Us. I mean, you get basic weapons and you find them and you upgrade them, but in this, you have a team of people working behind you to equip you with different stuff, and you get to select your loadout. So that's a little more Hitman-like. So I don't know, man. And the way you recharge that stuff is clever, picking up batteries or picking up, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I think the whole thing is just very well done. And I hope that the story continues to remain interesting. And I hope that, I keep feeling a pull to play it. And I do right now. So, I don't know, man. There's even driving in the game. There's driving. It's not just all on foot. I love this game, man. I'm so glad I bought it. I'm glad we decided to do this. And no regrets so far buying it. I had it freeze on me once. I had to shut it down, but the autosave feature saved me.
So it's funny you bring that up because, like, as far as bugs go, and I don't even know if I'd call this. I mean, it's a bug. It is a bug. Is that I don't know how often you do this, but I regularly, pretty much all I ever do, pause the game and just go out to the PlayStation menu, put it in rest mode, and just fucking like I never shut the game down. And I have had twice where I've tried to go into the touchpad menu, and it has literally sat there and said loading for like fucking 5 minutes, and then I just have to like restart the game.
Okay, yeah, no, I haven't had that.
Like the game isn't like locked up. It's sitting there like the loading thing is circling, like it's trying to open it, but it can't. Right. And the other thing that I will say that I don't particularly appreciate about this game is there is some fucking online feature that I don't understand, where you'll be running around and like totally immersed in this James Bondian action, and then suddenly a fucking dialogue box will pop up and be like, your connection to the online server has lost. Do you want to reconnect? And it's like, bro, who fucking cares? Do this in the background. Why are you interrupting a cinematic to tell me that I've lost connection to the server on a single player game? I don't fucking care. It doesn't matter. Wait till the cinematic's over, do it in the background. I don't give a fuck. Or I should be able to like maybe turn that off in the menus or something. I know you can't put it in offline mode, but I think there is something I think the online thing has something to do with like the auto saving and stuff. So you have to be maybe a little bit careful about how you use it. But I don't know. I just thought that was kind of a quirky little thing about the game that I don't know what that's about. Maybe I need to do a little more research on what it really is. Maybe I can just put it in offline mode and say fuck it. But with the issues I was having with that like loading thing, I might just every day or two just fucking shut the game down and restart it, because it seems pretty generous with the autosaves. So
I'm curious because I'm curious if it's going to overstay its welcome, because that burnt peanut guy I thought was so funny.
Yeah,
I still think he's hilarious. There was like a stream where it was like there was like a short or a clip. It was like burnt peanut says goodnight after being James Bond, and it was like 16 hours later. It just had a picture of him. It's like video with him like a fake tux on his peanut outfit. He's like, okay, guys. Good night. Good night, everybody. That game was way too fucking long. Good night. I am done with this game. Good night. Good night. He's just like, it looks like he's gonna pass out. I guess the game's kind of long. I don't know how long it takes to beat, but I hope it's not so long.
I don't think it's that. I mean, 16 hours isn't that long if that's how long it took him to beat it. But that's pretty ideal for a video game of this style, because it could be longer or shorter depending on how much you fuck around. So
sure. And he's probably cracking wise the whole time he plays, so he's probably doing all kinds of dumb stuff while he plays.
Yeah. So it's interesting that you brought up the Uncharted nature of this game, and there was always, and I think I might have even mentioned before the game came out to you how it has. Or maybe you mentioned it to me, or I don't fucking know. But there's an Uncharted vibe. Even looking at the trailers before the game even starts, or before it even launched, there was like a vibe, an Uncharted vibe to this game. Even though it's very James Bond. And I think that it really is. There is something about it when you're playing it. Like that first sequence when the game starts, and you're like this dude that's just trying to like save his own bacon. That whole sequence is straight out of a fucking Uncharted game. Maybe a little darker. Maybe a little darker than Uncharted would be. But still, it's like the climbing and the cinematic of slipping and the fucking rocks fall. And
I don't mean to interrupt you, but doesn't it also have a little bit of Metal Gear vibe to it also?
Yeah. Oh, sure. I mean, it's a spy game. It kind of does have that. I can get that
like the
vibe
the visuals of that first mission with the tents and like the rain, the weather. Like, dude, it's total Phantom Pain.
Dude, when you get I'm trying really hard not to spoil this game.
Yeah.
But like when you get to the like in the tent or whatever, and it's like, dude, is this game going?
I know exactly
is it going weird? Is it going to be a weird game? And it wasn't. It was a completely different thing. But like, I love that they're playing with those expectations. Like when you get there, like you don't know really, because Bond is very. I don't want to say it borders on sci-fi because it doesn't. It's just the technology is very imaginative, like stuff that couldn't happen in real life, even in the original James Bond movies. So. I love that the game kind of plays with those expectations a little bit while still kind of staying true to what it is. But dude, that sequence in the first mission,
so good.
That sequence in the first real mission when you're in the hotel, and the thing. So when you're in the hotel, there's that part where you find the torn out page from the antique book in the fucking fireplace. And I'm like, dude, this is straight out of an Uncharted game. Like, they didn't even fuck around with it. It's just like, this is just an Uncharted sequence. And it's pretty interesting. Now, granted, it wasn't as over the top and grandiose and this whole thing, right? But you can definitely see playing the game where their inspirations come from. And it makes a lot of sense. Like, I never would have thought that James Bond is like Hitman and Uncharted put together. I never would have thought that.
Yeah, but it is.
But it is.
What's so weird about it?
It is in like a very strange way. And so, like, I was listening a little bit to the the Sacred Symbols guys talk about it, and one of them, I think it was Dustin or one of them, was talking about how it's like Uncharted and Hitman had a baby, and it's not as good at Uncharted as Uncharted, and it's not as good at Hitman as Hitman, but as the sum of its own parts, it's a pretty fucking great package, and it works really well together. So the fact that it has,
I don't begrudge the developer at all for leaning on its influences or its inspiration, because like they didn't do a disservice to those titles. You know what I mean? Like, it'd be different if they tried, and it was like, man, like what was that game that came out that wanted to be so badly Grand Theft Auto, and it was just full of jank.
Fuck.
You know what I'm talking
Jacob
about.
Diaz is the main character. I can't remember the name of the fucking game.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about, though. Yes.
It's like, okay, it's like they do deserve a jostling because they tried to do something that's been done and missed the mark so wide.
Yeah.
But this is so good. Like, it doesn't feel like they bit too hard or bit too much style off of Naughty Dog or even their own title, you know, or off Metal Gear, off of Kojima or anything like that. Like, it's like a lot of the good stuff from all those games. I will say that the way the cinematics are, very Uncharted. Like the pacing, very, very Uncharted. But look at how well Uncharted does when they make the game and it sells. You know what I mean? Like look at the track record. I mean, what if that's the proven path, and you have a different story to tell, and you admire that, and you put your own flair on a game? There's really no shame in doing that if you just kind of like do it.
And they're not.
I don't know.
To be fair, like, they're not ripping Uncharted off either.
No,
like, I'm just saying,
not.
you know, like that sequence I was just mentioning, it's not a rip-off of an Uncharted sequence. It's just like they found a way to put this little scenario in this level that just immediately made me think I was in an Uncharted game. And it's very cool. You know, I mean, do I think it's necessary? Probably not. Like, we didn't need to do this puzzle thing, right? And it's not like it's... Although, to be honest with you, one of the things about this game that Uncharted doesn't do is this game does not hold your hand at all when it comes to how to get through a level.
No.
You walk around and it's like, you got to fucking figure it out. Now, granted, all of the tools you need are right in front of you and they're abundant. And you can generally walk around and you'll figure out how to get out. But it's not like it's doing this thing where it's telling you where to go and what to do. And once you get into the, I say open in quotes, areas, where it really is just like a small area where you have to figure out how to get through a certain section. And like Fred was talking about how to get into this building with this press pass, right? It could be that, like, instead of getting the press pass, you can sneak past some guards and climb up a fucking downspout. Or you could to get a disguise and kind of sneak your way in or whatever.
Use your Q watch to distract them, right?
Right. So it's really cool. What do you think?
We don't need to go on any more about it, but what were we going to say?
What do you think, just before we move on, about the gadgetry? Because I haven't used a ton of it so far. To be fair, I don't think I used either gadget that I took with me on the first mission. But on the second mission, I used my gadgets so far. I've used the laser beam, which is fucking cool, and I've used the flash bang thing that like incapacitates enemies, which is also cool. The cool thing about it is I love, and this is very James Bond, how all of the gadgets are made out of like real world things. Like the flashbang is like a set of AirPods in a case, but you can throw it and it like fucking blows up like a flashbang. Or there's like a tranquilizer dart that is like a cell phone. It's not like so it's very cool. Like, so I was wondering if you've used any of them and what you think of them.
Yeah, I've used them all now. All the ones I've had access to so far in the game, and I'm a little further ahead than you, but I don't think I'm that much further. I'm ostensibly in the next level or two in front of you, but I love the gadgets, man. And the deeper you get into this game, you're gonna realize that you're gonna start leaning on them more. Especially when you're trying to stealth two enemies at once.
Right.
The dart is kind of nice because you can dart somebody and it makes them instantly like dizzy and drowsy. It doesn't kill them, and they have a little timer that's going until they collect themselves. So you can do that, knock one guy like this, and then sneak up behind the other guy and do a takedown. While the other guy's still stunned, you can take him out. So like there's a nice way to like 1-2 duos of enemies with the gadgetry. The mine is cool because it literally will just explode and just take people out. But it's loud and it draws attention. Using the watch to trigger like copy machines or Roombas or whatever to distract enemies or turn on a radio is kind of cool. It's very Deus Ex in that regard also, or Cyberpunk, where you're hacking. Yeah. It feels like you're hacking, or Watch Dogs even. You're hacking electronics around you. But it's all proximity. You can't hack everything that's in sight. You have to be close enough and have line of sight and access to it. So you're still in an element of danger. And that stuff relies on battery power, and the batteries that you pick up throughout the level are limited, so you want to just not hack everything or distract everybody all the time. And sometimes when you want to, you can't because you don't have any battery power. So, dude, I think it's really interesting. There are some really fun gameplay loops here. And the story right now is in the characters, and just wanting to know what the next big set piece is going to be as I'm playing through this game. Like, I just can't wait for the next crazy thing that happens. Like, it's so fun. And the enemy, I don't know, Jake. I don't think you've gotten to the main enemies yet. Have you seen? I think you know what I'm talking about. Maybe at this point.
Are you talking?
You got attacked by the duo down in the basement.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, those guys are just creepy, dude. Super cool.
Yeah,
it's like so Bond-like. It's just like so strange. It reminds me of Dan Brown. He had a Da Vinci Code, and like there was the guy that was an albino or something in that. I think there was an albino killer in that book, and it kind of reminds me of like this strange, just weird character building stuff that like just piques your curiosity. It's good, man. I really like this game, dude. I like the gadgets. They're cool. I like them. It's fun.
Well, since we're talking about 007, let's just jump into a couple of news points real quick. 007 First Light has sold 1.5 million copies in its first 24 hours, which is pretty fucking good, my dude. And I hope that means that people seem to really like it. It's selling really well. Hopefully that means that we're going to get another one, because I haven't finished this game. So for all I know, by the end of this game, I'm going to think it's the shittiest fucking game on the planet, but I doubt it. For now, it seems like it's really cool, and I can't wait to play more of it. So that's awesome. And kind of on top of that, apparently 007 First Light reportedly costs around $200 million to make, which is a lot. It's not like a lot by modern AAA standards, but it is a lot by modern AAA standards, but it's not out of the ordinary for modern AAA standards. But apparently it's being reported by the Danish media as the country's most expensive entertainment export in history, which is kind of crazy. Now, granted, don't get me wrong, Denmark is not as large as the United States or a bunch of other countries, but the fact that a video game about James Bond is the most expensive export they've ever had from an entertainment perspective is pretty wild. And I don't know. I hope they make all their money back and they're really satisfied with it and they decide to make another one. But you could tell playing it that it is a very expensive game.
It's polished. I think for them to break even, they're going to have to sell, I don't know. So you figure if they sold 1.5 million, they're $70 a piece. That's 105 million right there. So they're still at least 100 million under as of the first 24 hours. That's just 24 hours.
I mean, I have to imagine that they'll make this back. I
would hope.
I would believe that this game could sell as many as, when it's all said and done, maybe like 10 million copies. So now granted, those won't all be at full price maybe, but I don't know. It's getting a lot of buzz.
Here's my hope. Let me just throw this out here. They have maybe inadvertently created the best franchise for DLC. Think about this. Let's say in like 5 months, Jake, they release a DLC pack, and it's like, we got a new mission for you, James. And it's just like, maybe the enclosed sandbox and a couple cutscenes and maybe a linear section or two about you trying to get some more dirt on a guy or bring somebody in, right? And it's like a brand new area. Who better than IO Interactive, IO Entertainment to do this? Because they had a lot of expansion missions with Hitman. Don't forget. Mm-hmm. So I would love for this game to keep giving in that way. Like, oh, here's a $20 DLC for 007. Like, this is something, if it's a standalone mission, this is something I would definitely return to and play time and time again with DLC packs. For sure.
Yeah, it might be tough to get the same kind of story vibe into the downloadable content, but I think that it would be definitely worthwhile. I mean, I'm pretty sure that they came out and said that once you beat the game, there is a sandbox mode where you can like replay missions and do challenges and do all this stuff. So I think that they've already got sort of the end game kind of strategy in their minds as far as how they want to do it. But I do agree with you. Think about Hitman. They did Hitman 1, Hitman 2, and Hitman 3, and then they just combined them all into one big fucking experience called The World of Assassination, and everything is included. And it's all just these different missions, and there's no reason why they couldn't do something similar for this game. The only difficult part would be the most expensive part, which is all the motion capture, voice acting, writing, all of that kind of music, all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, I totally agree with you. They could do a lot with DLC on this game. I would just be curious to see what they could come up with, because it would be pretty cool to go back as James Bond, go back to the fucking Q Lab, get some new gadget that they release as part of the DLC pack, and go to do this mission.
Parka and go to fucking Russia or something.
Where you
right? That'd be so awesome.
So one of the things, and I don't know if you've noticed this, but a lot of the mission titles or chapter titles, I don't know what they call it, if they're missions or chapters or whatever. A lot of the titles and a lot of the trophies are all plays on the titles of James Bond movies. And so what would honestly be kind of cool if they could get, they already have the James Bond license. What if they could get some more kind of leeway from MGM to be like, hey, let's send our version of James Bond to fucking the Moonraker base. And like, we'll take like that level from the movie, and it could be something that our version of James Bond does as like a DLC kind of, maybe not a time trial, but like a closed course kind of thing, more like Hitman, versus something like a more linear story, heavy, high production value kind of thing. So I don't know.
Let's
I think
recreate Goldfinger and see.
they could.
Yeah, that'd be wild.
That would be it would be really, really cool if they did stuff like that. They could literally, and I don't know why MGM would be opposed to that, because imagine they could drum up new love or new interest in movies that have been around for 70 years, 60 years. So it's a pretty cool idea. So anyway, moving on. Speaking of DLC, by the way, Fred, I don't know if you saw this. It's been confirmed that The Witcher 3 DLC is real. And it's called Songs of the Past, and it's slated for a 2027 release. Now, we don't know anything about this yet, other than its title, and that it's potentially coming out next year, or it's slated to be coming out next year. But we can almost assume that if it sticks to the CD Projekt standards of old, now I know CD Projekt isn't making this. It's a sub studio that CD Projekt owns that is making this. It's probably going to be a good size. Phantom Liberty was big. Blood and Wine was big. Even Hearts of Stone, which used the same map. It used the same map as The Witcher 3, but the content itself was a lot. It was still pretty big. So you could theoretically assume that this might be like a 10 to 15 hour expansion for The Witcher 3. And a game that is 10 years old, over 10 years old. And they did confirm that you're playing as Geralt, so it's not like it's sidelining you as Ciri or something like that. So I assume, Fred, that you're still maybe excited about this? Yes?
Yeah, I never read the books, dude. I bought all the books. I never read them all. Didn't get very far. Read the first two.
Yes.
Yeah. Whew.
Sarah loves the books.
What a freaking, just a wormhole to dive into is this world. I love the Witcher stuff. I love Rivia and this whole thing that happens. But I have about 30 Joe Deaver Choose Your Own Adventure Lone Wolf books calling my name also. So I just love fantasy like this. I love it. And when it's done well, I'm in. And The Witcher 3 was one of my favorite games ever. So I'm excited for this. Now, there is a learning curve to that game, so I couldn't begin to tell you how to play it. I'm worried about that. That's my concern.
Now, one thing I will say is that it's been so long since I've played this game, I've forgotten a large chunk of it. And so this may be a scenario where maybe I just replay it.
Well, let me just say this.
It's long as fuck is the only problem. The game is long as fuck. So
I put like 120 hours.
Dude, just for me to beat the main campaign took, I think, 90 hours. So, and that doesn't include the DLC or any of that crap. It's a long game.
But it's so good.
It is very good. I won't disagree with that.
Here's the thing, though. Your statement that you just made almost makes me want to stop and just ask ourselves, like, what are we even doing, man? Like, you're like, you just admitted to dumping like 90 hours into a game and not remembering any of it. And it's just like, what, is this the right choice? Are we making the right choice?
Well, to be fair, though, I mean, that was literally probably 9 years ago that I played that game.
And you do enjoy it when you do it.
And I've played how many video games since then?
I don't know.
So, 5. I don't know. It would be one thing if it was like, yeah, I played a 90-hour game 2 months ago and I don't remember any of it. But
I know. But I think about that, and I remember that I loved my experience with The Witcher 3. And I remember I had a game-breaking bug on a side quest that eventually CD Projekt Red fixed, and I was able to get my... I don't know if I platinumed it. I don't think I did. No, because I didn't beat it in... you had to beat it in the hardest mode. I forget what it was called. It was called, like, Death...
Oh, Death March.
It's called a Death March, yeah.
Yeah. I remember that.
Just start a new game on Death March. and just go there.
Dude, I can't even to me, the combat is hard on normal in that game.
It's really hard.
It's pretty challenging.
It's awesome when you get really, really leveled up, though, because then you can just take anyone out.
Yeah, it is cool.
It feels good. The vampires and all kinds of crazy shit in that game, dude. It's so good. It's the druids. It's so cool. If anyone who doesn't know anything about The Witcher, the first season of Netflix was great. The second one kind of sucked. Third one is even worse. But if you want to watch a really cool thing on YouTube, there's something about like it's Geralt, and it shows these guys kill this man, I believe, and then they're trying to attack this woman, trying to keep it podcast friendly, and Geralt's like riding his horse by, and they're like, "Oh, look at the Witcher! Keep on riding, Witcher!" And she's like, "Help, help!" And then like, he like kills these guys, but there's something in a tagline where it's like they say, "I thought Witchers were sworn to only kill monsters," and then he turns around, he just said something like. That's exactly what I did. And like he gets back on his horse and he rides off. And it's so rad. Like the Witcher is such a cool character in which like he has a moral compass, but he's also not. Witchers are created to not really have feelings or express feelings, not be able to really feel emotion. And they're always very cold and stoic and kind of like these people that can harbor magic. But then like the cool thing is they are monster hunters, and that's their trade, that's their craft. They go to bounty boards and they take out monsters in these villages. They deal with the stuff no one else wants to deal with. But it's crazy because Geralt actually has a conscience, and he always does seemingly the right thing. So he's like really noble in a way that most Witchers aren't. And he's like constantly like in these love triangles with women that like love him, and like he just doesn't know how to show affection, and like they're all like swoon over him, but he's just like, I just want to go fucking kill some monsters. Like, yeah. But then he finds himself like falling in love with people, and it's just so weird because that's not how he was created. He had to drink like that potion to become a Witcher, and like it's supposed to like make you just be a different kind of person, but there's still an element of a human in Geralt. But from what I understand, not to get into it too much further because I don't know, but the books really aren't about him as you get further into it. And
I think they're mostly about Ciri, right?
Yeah. But he has been the main protagonist in all of the games for the most part. In the new Witcher 4 coming out, I believe Ciri's the main one. So
I can't imagine. I haven't read the books, so I don't know. But I will say, and my only experience, I played a little bit of The Witcher 1, but my experience with The Witcher 3 is that everything about the way that Geralt and all the side characters and everything is portrayed is so much better in that video game than in that TV show. It's unbelievable. Yeah. I think that like what's his name?
I don't know.
That plays Geralt.
Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill does a really great job as Geralt. But there's a lot that they do with like the creative license and like the imagery of the show and stuff that I just like, it's just not as cool as the fucking game. The game is so much cooler looking, and it's so much like more, I don't know. Anyway, we can move on. The Witcher's dope. If you haven't played The Witcher 3, you could probably get it for fucking practically free at this point. And
it's so good.
I'm guessing that they're going to probably do like a re-release whenever the DLC comes out. That might be like get the game with all the DLC for fucking $50 or something, or maybe $70. I don't know. But dude, if you have not played The Witcher 3, if you could get the game and all 3 DLCs for $70, I still believe that is a steal. I know that game is 10 years old, but it's wonderful. So have at it. Moving on.
Well, yeah, dude, I'll just say this. And done with The Witcher 3, but I've got videos uploaded for my playthrough of Witcher 3, different things. So if you want to see what that game's about, I think there's at least a couple on there. So check it.
This podcast is older than The Witcher 3. Just saying. But anyway, do you remember, Fred, this stop killing games movement that was going around? Basically, it was like a movement of people that were saying that it's fucked up that we buy these games and they're like always online, and then the people that made them just decide to turn the game off one day and completely make the game unplayable, even though we paid for the game. So that was like a thing, right? Well, apparently they got some bill passed in California called AB 1921, the Protect Our Games Act. And basically what this means is that games that you have, at least in California, I don't know how this is going to play out. Nothing might happen. They might find loopholes. I don't know. But my understanding is that if you have paid for a video game, you are entitled to play it indefinitely, which means that the developer needs to either provide you with an offline mode for that game or the ability for you, the community, to host your own servers to play the game. So they might not have to make it offline only, or might not have to make an offline mode. However, they need to give you the tools to be able to say, like, to do like what we used to do back in the day, which is like, I'm going to run the Call of Duty server on my computer and everybody can jump onto it and then we can play this game. There's no need for us to be on a server at some server farm in fucking Washington that Activision owns. So It's pretty interesting. Now, I do think that I do agree with the sentiment of what these people are trying to do generally, but I think there's going to be some unintended consequences about restricting the way that games are made. So, because I think that it's going to cause. The way that I look at it is this. If this act that means games moving forward are designed with this inevitability in mind, then I think that it's all hunky-dory, it's all well and good, I have no problems with it. If this game tries to retroactively make studios reactivate games that have been taken offline because somebody paid for them, I think that's a big problem. Because if you've got a studio that lost a shitload of money on a game, they didn't design it to be able to be an offline game. Yeah. Then now you're asking them they lost $100 million on this game, and now you're asking them to spend another $20 million to make an offline mode. Like, I could see there being an issue from that perspective, but generally I think this is a good sentiment, at least, to have in the video game industry. How do you feel about this?
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, you buy something, you should just have access to it, right?
And maybe, just maybe, every fucking video game doesn't need an online mode. Why? Like I mentioned earlier with 007. Well, why am I fucking contacting some server in a single player game? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't know. I think as we spoil ourselves with the immediacy of entertainment, there's going to be stuff like this that attaches itself to it all. And it doesn't quite make sense to someone like you and I, who are pretty honest dudes. And we're not trying to steal stuff. We're not trying to like hack a game and manipulate it or do whatever, or, you know what I mean? And I don't know. Like there's always going to be some sort of like secret connection on stuff now to, I don't know what they're tracking. Are they tracking our data? Are they tracking what we're doing in the games? I don't know, man. Even 007, man, just to get into the game, I had to sign off on 3 like agreements to play it. You know, I didn't read any of them. I just get me to the game, like whatever, I don't even care. It's like going to a website anymore. It's like every website literally asks you, do you accept the cookies, or do you do this, or do you allow authorization? It's like, no. And then some try to obfuscate like the option to deny everything but what is mandatory for you to like just to be on the website, right? Like and it's just they just make it. Everybody's just stealing your data and selling your information, and I think that that's going to bleed into games. I think that's why we have like these internet connections on these games. I think they're somehow getting gameplay data and selling that to other people, and it's just like,
I mean, even if they're using it to kind of heat map how you play the game and stuff, to figure out how to make new games and all this stuff. Like I totally get it, but it's like I just don't see. Like why is everything? Why does it have to be online now? Why does my fucking
everything is connected?
Why does my toaster have a fucking phone app? I don't understand it. It makes no sense, dude. I literally, this isn't even a joke, have a coffee mug that has a phone app. It makes no fucking sense. Just let me use the damn thing. And so
why does every plane spit out a chemtrail, Jake?
Yeah, why does it? Why is the government controlling us? So anyway, we can move on from that. And just so everyone knows, like one of the impetuses that of this Stop Killing Games movement was that Ubisoft literally killed that game, The Crew, that car game, took it offline and literally took people's licenses away so that they couldn't even play it anymore or download it anymore. And there's a huge single player component to that game. But because it had online connectivity, they basically just fucking axed it from all these people's libraries. And so that's what started this whole thing. So those people, they're being kind of dicks about it, and they kind of deserve what's coming to them. But I don't know that everybody falls under that category. So if you're interested, go look it up. It's called Stop Killing Games is the Movement. The new bill in California is AB 1921, the Protect Our Games Act. Go check it out. It's pretty interesting. Am I still going to play games regardless of what the fuck happens? More than likely. Short of everything turning into Roblox, I'll probably find something to like in almost anything. So, last thing here, and this is a weird one. Have you seen this weird AI short film for Prada that has Hideo Kojima in it?
No.
It's like the theme of it is like a 50s sci-fi movie. Mm-hmm. And it is the most bizarre shit I've ever seen. It's like Kojima and this other actor, they're in like a spaceship and they like crash land on this planet and they're like fighting a fucking here I'll do you have you found it?
I'm looking at it right now,
dude.
I found a GameSpot link to it. Let me see.
Yeah, just watch it real quick. It's fucking weird, man.
It says Hideo Kojima's next announcement is a credit card. Death Stranding. I got it.
So while Fred watches this, basically what it is like
I don't even know if I found it. I thought I found it. This isn't even it. That's something else.
Here, I'll.
That's hilarious.
So I just posted a link in the Google Doc if you have it open.
Oh, maybe this is it. Your heroes will always let you down.
And it's like a spaceship going through space and it crash lands and it's like this fucking Hideo Kojima and this other dude get out and they're like fighting this weird monster and it is very, very strange. But and there's this chick that does this Yoda shit, like getting there.
You can't even find it, Prada.
Dude, look at I just sent you the link.
Where?
It's in the Google Doc.
On my phone?
It's on the Google Doc.
Oh.
Do you have the Google Doc open? I just put it with I put it with the news point.
I got it.
So if you it's in that Push Square article. It's in there. So
okay.
It's like 1 minute and 30 seconds long, but so you don't necessarily have to watch the whole thing, but you can see kind of the idea of what it is. It's very, very bizarre. We're like in this world where, and it looks really surprisingly good, but apparently a lot of people are just throwing shade at Kojima about this, and it's like, bro, the dude is just a creative. He's going to do whatever the fuck. And I don't even know if he had much involvement in this. He might have just agreed to be a character in it. But knowing him, he probably wanted to do something weird. So he decided to be involved in this. I mean, why not? I mean, fucking with technology is something that creatives always do. That doesn't mean that it's right to replace creativity with AI, but just having Kojima make this weird trailer for Prada, the fashion company, is not necessarily indicative that he's going to make all of his games with AI. So I think it's funny. I don't know that it's necessarily that big of a deal or even really a news point.
Yeah.
I just thought I watched it and I thought it was funny, so I figured I'd throw it in here.
It's styling in a weird way.
It is pretty. Like I said, it's like a 50s sci-fi movie.
I would love to have a music video for One of My Land that had this aesthetic. It'd be so good. Maybe something less serious. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like a Weezer video or something would be so good.
It's
like
pretty
that
cool.
Style.
Yeah, it would be dope. Okay, so that is the end of the podcast, Fred. We've been going for 1 hour and 30 minutes and 24 seconds.
So stop.
We're gonna call it a night. It's 8:06 here, Pennsylvania time. On 6/1. Dude, it's fucking June already. Can you believe that?
No.
By the time we do the next podcast, you and I will have already played the show on Saturday at Hills and
I will play the
Hollers.
show with Chad Price tomorrow.
Oh,
Tuesday.
that's right. You're playing that show with Chad Price tomorrow, so that's cool too.
Yeah.
I'm not involved with that, so I don't care as much. But I'm excited for you.
Of course.
I'm doped. I'm doped. I'm doped about this show on Saturday. But I am super pumped. I hope that the weather is good because you have so many nice days in a row. You're kind of like looking at your watch. It's like waiting for the fucking rain to come. And so I hope the weather's good. It was a cool event that we played last year. It's kind of buggy because it's in the middle of the woods, but that's all right.
Yeah.
And I'm just excited to rip these One of My Land songs. We played. We practiced on Saturday, dude. I know Troy was talking about it, but it really did sound great in Jim's garage.
Yeah, I don't know why.
That sounds so bizarre to say. You would think it would sound. I mean, because it sounded. No offense to Fred and Ramona, it did not sound good in their garage. So in Jim's garage, it sounded great. So I don't know. Record an album in there. But so I'm excited. And outside of that, I'm trying to think if there's anything else going on. Nah, we've got I'm going on vacation in a couple weeks, so that'll be kind of neat. And get a few days off of work. I'll be traveling, so it won't exactly be restful, but it'll be enjoyable. And I don't know. Gonna kind of keep enjoying the sun. It's nice. This is like perfect because it's sunny, but it's not blisteringly hot yet. So it's like 68, 70 degrees outside, sunny. And I got the pool open, but I'm not able to use it because the water's too fucking cold. And it's not clear yet anyway. But, dude, I'm going to tell you right now, don't ever get a pool. Ever in your entire life. If you can avoid it, never get one. I'm just telling you. They're awesome when you're like outside and it's hot as fuck and you're like just got done weed whacking or some shit and you're like, bro, I just want to jump in the pool, flop up on a floaty, crack open a cold one, and just chill in the sunshine. They're amazing. But that is literally 5% of the time you spend with the pool. The other 95% is you taking care of the pool, which is not nearly as fun. So, anyway, I don't know.
I am still looking to get rid of the original Diablo 2 PC.
Booklet. I didn't know you had that.
Do you want it? I was going to try to sell it, but you're welcome to.
You can try. It's probably not going to fetch very much.
Awesome. Look at this.
Dude. They used to do so much for games.
There's so much artwork and stuff in here. Like, look at some of the artwork. It's so cool.
Yeah, it's fucking rad. Dude, game books used to be awesome. And that
like
probably
it came with the game.
Yeah, it was probably from a big box PC game, right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, obviously it was. It's Diablo 2. But that's so cool, man. We haven't gotten a book like that in a long time.
Talking about paladins.
Fucking paladin, yeah.
Necromancers.
Hell yeah. I didn't realize.
So I'm looking to.
I was convinced. I was having a conversation with a coworker about this the other day. Like oddly enough, I was convinced that the Necromancer was an expansion character for that game, and apparently not. He was one of the original characters. So the more you know. Apparently, it was the assassin and the druid that were the expansion characters. I don't know. Bit of a side tangent. Anyway, do you got anything else to say before we get out of here, Fred?
Oh, dude, I just want to get out of here. I'm tired. I gotta play in Erie tomorrow at 7 after working all day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at least you're doing something you want to do. Hopefully it'll be a cool concert.
It'll be fun. I hope it's cool. It'll be cool to meet Chad. He, those who don't know, he played in a band called All and also in a band called Drag the River. Both bands are really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited to share the stage with him. So it'll be another little notch on my belt, I guess, as far as a personal accomplishment. But anyways, I'm good. I'm good. We can close out.
All right. So that is it for episode 425 of PS This Is Awesome. That's been Fred. I've been Jake. We'll see you next week. So like Cactus Boy, Cairn, and Cake Bash. P.S.
P.S.
This is awesome.
This is awesome.